Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for being a wonderful group to work with. One thing I really like about being in an adult class, I used to go to adult classes and be in the class in a college classroom and with a guy who's been playing blues for 50 years. And everybody there would be ready and know the song he was talking about and ready to go and hanging on every note. And unlike any college class I was ever in before, that's for sure. But I did go back to the classroom and I went there and practiced a bent note on a harmonica so I could get summertime together. But uh, I've been really impressed with the amount that you all have been able to put into it and also get out of this. So thank you for your hard work. I put up that YouTube of Howlin' Wolf talking about why you get the blues. And did everybody see that? Some did. That's good because he said, well, it's like you can't pay your house rent and you don't have any money for food. Then you got the blues. Sat out on the porch the next night, started playing some music, and everything sort of evened out and said, oh, okay, it's going to be all right. And I don't need to worry about yesterday. So that's one thing. It really brings you into the present and lets you sing out your blues. Or so what I'd like to propose to do is to go through the workshop relatively quickly. We'll stop and play the songs that were associated with each lesson. And I'm going to share my screen, okay? And there are 4 parts to it. We were right here. And we talked about what is the blues. And then it oftentimes comes in an AAB pattern. Let's look for those in some of the songs we have today. We spent a long time the week before this talking about chord naming and using Roman numerals. This is just so you can communicate with the other people in your group, in the band, so that you can see what's coming, so you can analyze a piece of music. And this is really key, I think, getting this progression of major and minor chords. This is in the key of C and the key of A here. So you ought to be able to navigate around in here for all major. Minor keys they usually start on the 6th, and then if you just continued, you'd have the correct chords for minor keys. You can play 7ths all the way through, and a 7th chord we'll talk about in a little bit. And one of the main things for this was the shuffle rhythm. So now the other thing I noticed I was doing was, so it's detaching the pinch that goes together. So that's another way to play the shuffle rhythm. So how long? We played Turnaround the first week, even though we didn't know what they were. Isn't that nice? It's good. So for this first intro, we're going to leave the first string open all the way, go down, and then we'll play that real compact turnaround. How long have that evening train been gone? How long? Went to the station, didn't see no train. But down in my heart, I have an aching pain. How long? We've discussed it. I feel so bad, thinking about the good time we once have had. How long, how long, how long? You'll be sorry if you've done me wrong. It'll be too late, baby. I will be gone. How long? How long? How long? How long? How long has that evening train been gone? How long? How long? How long? Oh, good. So I played this this turnaround a couple different ways. The first way was, and the other was using the first string. Again, you hold like an A shape, and you're going to begin with your pinky on second string G, changing the E string to a G. And then bring down your ring finger on the second fret, and then bring over your index finger back to A. So, and then an E7. The alternative is but it enables you to get through a turnaround without moving your frame of reference. So you can still be in that A position that you're leaving and coming back to. And so if you want a fast turnaround, you can use that. And you can also find several ways to vary it. And both turnarounds in A and C, we tried to emphasize those so that you could use the variations in them. Let's play Baby What You Want. You got me running, you got me hiding, you got me run, hide, hide, run, any way you want to let it roll. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got me doing what you want me, baby, what you want me to do. You got me up, I'm going down, I'm going up, down, any way you want to let it roll. Oh, yeah, yeah. You got me doing what you want me to do, what you want me to do. I would have played a harp solo here. So you got me peeping, you got me hiding, peep, peep, hide, any way you want to let it roll. Hey, yeah, yeah. You're doing what you want me, baby, what you want me to do. This Jimmy Reed song, he was famous for this type of shuffle blues. Listen to several of his songs. If you get him on YouTube, the next one will probably also be by Jimmy Reed, and he's got Mama Reed singing in the background, and he's got a harmonica up in a rack. And it's, I can tell you, it's a little bit claustrophobic with all that up next to your face, and you're trying to get the microphone in there too. But he was a master at it. And I added this one because we were learning how this fits. I would definitely get in and try to hear both of these YouTubes, Ray Charles and Big Bill Broonzy, because it'll take you into a place that I can't. Okay, that I got a chance to see Ray Charles play in concert, and he's just wonderful. I wasn't sure what he was drinking, but it was great. Okay, and so then we looked at right hand technique, and so that's the first line. It's just holding the C on your first string and then varying what's happening on the fourth string. We talked about how to do a turnaround. This is the first turnaround we learned, which was reaching over with your ring finger to get that third fret. Always followed by the 5/7. So that's the key of C. We're going to show some more in the key of C. In the key of A, it's generally this G7 form, looks like this, 2-1-2, you're familiar with that. And if you push it up 2 frets, and then you can work with it on the way down in a lot of different ways. So come down from the last is A, and then go to the E7. We did some work about moving this up if you wanted to. You wanted to play a different type of turnaround. There's a way to play that in A or up at the 12th fret, the way Robert Johnson played some. He would play a intro at the 12th fret and then play it again in the middle of the neck, which is pretty interesting. If you look at the transcriptions for Robert Johnson in the blues songbook, this C one is pretty nice. So you have the second string moving up and the fourth string moving down. So that's you don't need to play triplets. So that I really like that. I learned that in a guitar class, and I just remembered that'd be the time to put something like this in, or maybe at the beginning, because you're all set. You're not worried about, or am I behind the beat? I want to make sure your foot is going anytime you're playing a song, though. I think that's critical. I know it's a little different in the world of Zoom, but when we were having club meetings in a restaurant or even in a music school, one side of the group was not necessarily in the same beat as the other side. So part of playing is listening, and you have the power to fix it. So if it doesn't sound just right, see what you could do to fix it. Do I need to speed up or slow down? How can I make it better? These are some turnarounds in G and in D, just in case you need those. If you're playing in D or G, we've got some songs using those. And this is just using a typical D shape. This is a barred D, like a C shape. Okay, this is more like the A shape, moved up, 5 more frets. And so that would be one way to do it. In this case, we're using a moved up C shape. This case, we're using a moved up A shape. So we're starting open. So we're going to start open, then we're going to play an F shape and then a reverse F shape. An F shape being 3-1 or 2-0-1-3. And then you're going to play, so that's the third. So it looks like thinking about chords in terms of shapes will then free you, okay? And you'll be able to see this shape and what happens to make it a seventh chord is that this, for this A-shaped chord, same one we use for a B flat, is we move this is a 1, 3, 5, 1, you know, beautiful, huh? And now we're going to move this down and, or for a B flat, it would be, so you have this flatted seventh. So this is a B flat seventh. And that's what we're doing with each one of these, finding a one and pushing it back 2 steps to make it a C seventh. In this case, we're going to raise a fifth. This is the F shape. We're going to make that come up here and make your F seventh shape. This is a great shape to walk back and forth from G to F seventh, G seventh to F seventh. This one is not used too much. We use it in turnarounds. It's a little tricky to finger because we don't use it so often. Because this is low G for tenor anyway, you don't need to, well, this is the nut. Once you push it up to the 3rd and 4th fret, then you've got to play this A or leave it out. What we've been doing for the most part is just leaving this go. When you play the A, if the G sounds, it sounds like a flatted seventh, so it's okay there. And then there are some alternative ways to play chords, and that's all this was about. You have a 1-finger A seventh, a easy quote Hawaiian D seventh, and an E seventh. And this is nice, the E seventh. Nice because you can sharpen that. And then I particularly like this A7th shape with the G in there instead of having an E in it. So that's an A7th, a 1-finger A7th. And if you play the A7th using the G here, you have these two sort of together there arguing. And it helps you raise the tension in that chord. And these are just ways to push a C7th shaped chord up the neck. And if you remember where this E7th is, you'll be able to remember where the D7th goes as well. Red River Blues. Which way? Which way does that blood-red river run? My back window to the rising sun. Lord, I left her. She treated me so unkind. Kept me worried about her all the time. Red River, please tell me what to do. Oh, I feel so sad and blue. Well, I gave a nickel, and she stole my last dime. Not a day she'd ease my trouble mind. Which way does that blood-red river run? My back window to the rising. So that's a different type of ending. And John Jackson is really a wonderful performer, so he's gone, but you can listen to his recording here on YouTube, the blues scale. And did everybody get the blues scale? Was that something that made sense? So I would like you to be able to play this A blues scale and the C blues scale and use it. Not necessarily linearly, but when you get these two box shapes, this is the same as the A blues at the nut, this C blues is. And you could also play it below. Moved up here on the top, and then this shape emerges once you move the A blues scale away from the nut. Okay, this is the same as this, except it's at the 3rd fret. Did everybody try spoonful? Okay, let's try that together. Starting on the G. So this is a Willie Dixon song, usually done by Howlin' Wolf, and he'd take a spoon around the audience and ingratiate himself to the whole audience. He was larger than life. But I would encourage you to listen to more Howlin' Wolf to kind of get the flavor of that. And this root to the flat 3rd spoonful lick is, and it's good to give it a little bit of a bend. Let me stop sharing and I'm on C, and you're going to play C, E, and E flat. Except when you want to bend it, now you could actually use both fingers and go. You don't want to bend it up the whole step. So this would be. Just a little bit for this. Did everybody try bending? Some anyway? Okay. I think you will really enjoy using that, all right, as you get into it. Let's go to, we'll play You Got to Move, okay? Everybody got You Got to Move in front? So we're gonna play You Got to Move. And you got to move, you got to move, you got to move, child. Move, because the Lord, get ready, you got to move. You may be high, you may be low, you may be rich, child, you may be poor. When the Lord gets ready, you got to move. You see that woman who walks the street, you see that policeman on his beat. When the Lord gets gets ready, you got to move. Okay, play the next verse. You got to move. You got to move. You got to move, child. You got to move. When the Lord gets ready, you got to move. All right. And the good news is that Kate has offered to sing Trouble in Mind for us.
I'm going to play the intro and then the solo first before I start the song. So the solo, the way I got my head around it was I started with a D shape and played around that to get started. So then I'm going to go into the solo and play it as written. I listened to the YouTube track that Spencer sent to get the tune because it wasn't a that I was terribly familiar with. So in the first verse, I kind of played about with the tune a little bit in there, and I'll just play it and let you hear it. Trouble in mind, down blue, but I won't be always. You know the sun's gonna shine in my back door someday. I'm all alone at midnight, and my lamp is burning low. So much trouble in my mind before. I'm going down to the river. I'm gonna take my rocking chair, and if the blues don't leave me, I'm gonna rock away from there. Trouble in mind, down blue, but I won't be always. Just the sun's gonna shine in my back door someday. I said the sun's gonna shine in my back door someday.
So that was wonderful. Thank you for that. I'll just say it helps if you have a song that means something to you. So look through the blues book. I think it has 55 songs. You'll find something that blows your hair back. If it doesn't, then you can take something like CC Rider, which is somebody has done you wrong. And certainly you have felt sometime in your life that things haven't gone right and you didn't ask for it. Then the best thing to do would be to go, okay, I'm gonna learn these words. I'm gonna learn the chord changes over the words. So if you can think of telling a story or make it in the form of walking into a room and I see this first, maybe you could say, this part of the story, I'm gonna say, I see a clock and I'm thinking, now, where did you stay last night? And then I look in the doorway and I see CC Rider, whose clothes don't fit you right and your hair's all messed up. So, okay, I got that. Now I got a verse already. So it's a way to remember the verses by hooking them up to some other mechanism. You need to get clear on the melody and the starting note, so I'll know where to start and try to hit that. Otherwise, you're sort of moving in between octaves and may not be so happy. You could see that having the bendable note there on the F, which is one fret off of the nut, which is impossible to bend, or having it at the fifth, easy to bend. So you can think about what you'd like to bend. Then developing a solo, we just talked about that. I thought Kate did a nice job of thinking about how to put an intro in there, and then also essentially played a solo as part of the intro, which is certainly fair game, and it was very effective. Figure out how you're going to finish it. And then one thing I would like y'all to think about doing is looking at the finger picking book, and the last 2 pages of the finger picking book will take you through a stepped approach to finger picking. And if you could get together to outside, outside, inside, inside, you can, with a bunch of chord changes, you can play a lot of songs like that, and it'll change the whole feel to the song if you finger pick it rather than strum it. So you should have that. And once you've got one song together, go ahead and particularly if you say, okay, I'm going to practice this song, I'm going to start, let me, in this case, start with the solo. Then I'm going to practice the turnarounds, and then I'm going to practice the intro. Then I'm going to practice the outro. Okay, and now I'm going to work on the words, and then I need to put all those things together and play them until you don't need to look at your left hand. And maybe you've already figured out what to do with your right hand. You may play it in several different ways. You might try finger picking to see if that would work. Louise has offered to sing CC Rider. So thank you for being willing to put it out there, Louise.
Hi, everybody. No problem. So this song, I don't think I'd ever heard it until Spencer suggested I try it. And I looked it up, and a lot of people have covered it. So Ma Rainey, she's called the mother of the blues, so I hate having to try and replicate her. So I'm doing my own version of this. But other people who've covered it have been Bob Dylan, Old Crow Medicine Show, Elvis, wearing the white suit and everything. It's in the key of C. Find me a good girl and everything will be alright.
Excellent. Brave to start out with one of the hardest turnarounds in the book there, but, and you accomplished it. How about that? Well done. Good for you. Plus the other ones were fine. You know, they're what they did what they're supposed to do, got you ready to go back into the next verse. You're all ready to go. Because of the hurricane, I thought we needed to have a hurricane song and also a intro. I'm just going to do the first couple of verses here, but to show you what we could take a here. Well, when it rains 5 days and skies turn dark at night, well, it rained 5 days, skies turn dark at night. Well, trouble taking place in the lowlands at night. I woke up this morning, couldn't get out of my door. I got up this morning, couldn't even get out of my door. There's been so much trouble, make us good girl wonder where she wanna go. Oh, the rain's pouring, baby. I went off to that old lonesome hill. That high old lonesome, a high old lonesome hill. I look up to the place where I used to live. This was a song about the flood in Nashville, where the river level was up 56 feet. And so that's why her house done washed away. I can just imagine somebody with a big voice singing this. I hope you have heard Hound Dog sung by Big Mama Thornton. We'll write that one down and listen to it, because it's a song about a guy. Big Hound Dog is a guy who is still hanging around her door that doesn't do anything. And it makes less sense when Elvis sings this, because he's singing about a dog. Big Mama Thornton really lays it out there, and she is the big mama of the blues. So she does a wonderful job with that. I just wanted to talk about what's in here, if you haven't delved around much. What we've done are, I don't know that I've got it back up. So that's, oh. So there's some beginner books here. There's the 1 week we did on scales and chords. This is a learning to read sheet music session. And maybe some of you already know how to read sheet music, but it's not that hard, right? Particularly if you think about it as, I already know a uke. I already know the music on my uke. I know where C is. I know I can find C and G just like that. So if you can find them now on a score and you practice, you'll get up to speed with that. So I would do that at some point, get it together so that sort of stuff doesn't scare you. There's no need for that. I took an approach with circle of fifths that you ought to be able to write the circle of fifths on a napkin while you're having a beer. So without having to just, you can recreate it. And then it can be very useful. This finger picking for uke is a PDF that starts out with you just hitting your thumb on the fourth string. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So you're going to be tapping your foot. This is the next type of, you're moving between strings. Again, changing the strings you're using with your thumb and then index finger until you've gotten a little bit more complicated. We've now got quarter notes we're using, the tabs right below it. And then we're starting to change what you're not just repeating the same thing twice now. And this outside in one is extremely useful. Okay, you can take Ukulele Gal, for example. It sounds completely different. The one I sang at the last meetup, I played it strumming and then I played it picking, and it was a totally different song. So this is pretty simple. Travis picking is illustrated here. You pluck something together, then you sort of do it inside out again. So this is 2 sheets that will take you from 0 to 60 on finger picking. So I would say that that would be a good use of your time. Then there is something to do with that. You can use this fingerstyle book. This is Fred Neil. And this was the guy who taught Merle Travis. Sort of, he picked it up from, I think his name is Schultz. But there are 40 songs in this little book that has, I wouldn't necessarily start with Alice's Restaurant, but you could. They're all different. This is something that's will come in useful once a year, if nothing else. Okay, Auld Lang Syne, and you can play it. And so you can play it like that and sort of get a chord melody thing going. And so there are 40 songs in that, in the fingerstyle book. The other thing I've done this summer is I have a soul book, which has, I think, 88 songs in it. This is an old time and bluegrass book. So think about where the blues went. Part of it went this way. And there's also Merle Travis snuck in there again, didn't he? Johnny Cash. So there's some great stuff in here. And there may be some things in here that you don't know yet. But each one of them are wonderful. Some of these are been done by Dylan. Little Sadie certainly has been. The Little Willies did Lone Star. So this is over 100 songs you could pick from. And let me see. Under web resources, there is a, let me get that going. Hello. Okay. Okay, so this is sort of broken down. This is, if everybody does everybody heard of Ukulele Mike Lynch? Okay, well, he is a wonderful resource. He's passed on now, but he was a music teacher in a small parochial school and was used to doing that with kids. And he will sit down and work one song with you, absolutely clear cut, fun guy. So his videos are on YouTube. And when you get done with sitting there with him for half an hour, you'll know a new song. Glenn Rose is a good educator as far as particularly jazz, and Peter Moss is a player and educator in England. Let's see. This tab and chord paper I find particularly useful for working out chord melodies. So this I found when I was in Amsterdam. I went to the ukulele store and they happened to have this stuff up there. So it's free. I just linked to it. but you can put the chords above that. And then, let's see, there's a fretboard diagram here. So here we go. So as far as learning the fretboard, this is a way to remember these. Goats can eat anything up here. C fat or cat fat at the 5th, and dog bone here at the 7th. And on the second page is an empty one. So this is for you to practice. And so this would be useful to print out several of these and just see, can you get up the first string? Okay, I'm going to learn the first string this week. And I'm going to be able to write this out. I'm going to be able to play it. I can jump to the D at the 5th. Okay, that's no problem. So it's not just memorizing and putting it here, it's putting it to use. And if you notice, I've made one for baritone, but it looks just like us at the 7th fret, right? So this is a useful tool for you to use and work on your fretboard knowledge. And I don't know if you have any problem with your knot pulling out. These are 2 stopper knots that I've posted here to put under your peg if you're using a peg. Okay, it wouldn't, if you're lacing it through, then it's not a problem. But this is two ways to tie this actually stopper knots, and the ukes I build have pegs in them, so it's important for me to do that. And I also linked to a website where they're talking about, this is Taylor Guitars talking about humidity. And so if you're heating your house, you need to have a humidifier in your case in the winter. In the summer, it's humid enough, but I swear I built my daughter a ukulele, had a ebony fretboard, spruce top, really pretty walnut back. I took it out to Boulder, and a week after I got there, she had developed a crack in the ebony. Of anything, I would have been, that was the last thing I would have expected to crack. But it was because of the drop in humidity. And we just waited. We put some sponges inside the case. We got some humidifiers. She eventually got it back to Virginia. By that time, it was summertime. The crack had closed, and I was able to use a clamp and also some super glue in there and get the ebony finished. But humidity can be a real problem with you. Okay. And then there's some baritone ukulele resources as well. The thing that I've done the most of, I think, is chord melody. And this is a songbook that has some things that are not so difficult. Ashokan Farewell is a beautiful song. It's not difficult to play. Edelweiss only has 1 difficult chord in it. So that would be one if you like that. And there's right much in here, 326 songs all done up in this chord melody style. All right. And I had to sort of decide what key it's going to fit into for the ukulele, and what is the range of notes that I have to be able to get in here. And then also you have to have some room under the note for the rest of the chord. So that's sort of what you're fighting with. You need to be able to get the melody. I usually keep that on top, and then have the chords underneath that. Let's see. Has some Hawaiian stuff in there, and let's see. So So this is one of Willie's songs that I tabbed up. Anyway, those are directions you could go, and Price is Right. Okay. Also, if I have left anything unclear, or you want to submit any rants about my teaching style, that would be best done afterwards. And I'll read, if you have something you cannot get past, I'm happy to answer an email. Okay. And I've enjoyed this as much as anything I can remember lately. So thank you so much for doing this. Okay. I love it. This silent applause.
Thank you.
It's great.
Thank you. It's been brilliant.
Thank you very
I
much,
like
Spencer. This has
like this
been
song.
excellent.
Great job.
Okay. Have a good day. Have a wonderful winter. I'll see you at
You
the
too.
next
You too.
gig night. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Bye.